All right, what's good? Your boy Bobby W223 here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and jump into this. Yasno Shokyo basically challenged the Nintendo fan base, or I guess just gamers in general, to talk about the whole situation with Nintendo, and I guess kind of what we feel about how they're doing with the Wii U, this, that, and the other, blah blah blah. I'm just gonna kind of give my 2 cents, kind of what I feel about this, even though I'm not like a hardcore Nintendo fan, but I do like Nintendo. All jokes aside, everything like that, but really, I feel that I know some people feel like it's their games or whatever that's the issue. To me, it's not necessarily the games on the Wii U that's the issue. It's just the way Nintendo is handling everything, whether it's the games, the marketing, and etc., and just the overall identity of the Wii U. And I know some gamers have said that they're going through an identity crisis, and that they don't really know who their target audience is. And I really feel like Nintendo needs to just say screw all this, how should I word this, I guess the whole casual people. There's nothing wrong with having casual people in your fan base. Every console, PlayStation, Xbox, and of course Nintendo, even Sega back in the day, there's casual gamers on every system. But I think Nintendo needs to stop making that their main focus, and I really feel like now with the Wii U, that's what they're doing. That's just the way I'm seeing it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that they really need to just directly compete with Sony and Microsoft. I know, what was it, Reggie maybe? I know it was one of those guys had mentioned that, they're trying to just kind of do their own thing and be different because they feel that they can't really compete head to head with Sony and Microsoft. And I know one of those guys from Nintendo said that. And in my opinion, they can. They just really need to, no pun intended, but they need to come hard with it, I think they need to really look and see what Sony and Microsoft are doing far as where they're advertising, not necessarily how they're advertising, and I'm not saying that they should just copy them, but they need to talk to the same people in the same areas. And what I mean, this is just a small example, right? Because I love The Walking Dead. It's my favorite TV show right now. You know what I'm saying? It's the number one TV show on television, or definitely like top 3 or some shit like that, right? And for the past week or so, at least, I've noticed Microsoft has been advertising Dead Rising, on their for Walking Dead, which makes perfect sense. Dead Rising is a zombie game, and The Walking Dead is a zombie TV show. They're reaching out to these people and talking to them like, hey, look at our game coming to Xbox One, blah blah. I feel like Nintendo needs to like advertise there as well. Basically, what I'm saying is like wherever Sony and Microsoft are at, Nintendo needs to be there. They need to get the same audience and say, look, we're here too, but we're not a Me Too system. We can do what they can't. Oh shit. That's come up with the catchy slogan for Nintendo. No, I'm playing, but seriously, they need to be like, look, we do what they can't, but we still want you guys. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they need to like tell us. Like, look, we're not trying to ignore you. We want you guys. We know that you guys are the ones that made us back in the 80s and the 90s. A lot of us gamers started gaming with Nintendo. I started with Sega, but it was like Nintendo and Sega. It was like Sega Genesis, original Nintendo, Super Nintendo. All that was me in the 90s. I was born 1990, so early mid 90s or whatever. It was all Sega and Nintendo. A lot of us started off with these companies, so it's like we're the ones that made them what they are today. So they need to talk to us just like how Sony and Microsoft are talking to us through these advertisements, things of that nature. They need to make sure that they're targeting us, and they need to keep doing that. I'm not saying that they're not doing that at all, but they need to do it better, more, and they need to keep doing that. They need to get our attention just like Sony and Microsoft have gotten our attention. Of course, obviously, the PS4 and the Xbox One, they're new consoles. Of course, you're gonna have natural hype over that. But coming into the next year, Nintendo really needs to go hard because they do have some great games coming out. And the fact that the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One are launch titles, I think that this would be a good time for them to talk about the games coming out next year, because the fact of the matter is most of the big games, whether they're multi-plat or exclusive games for the Xbox One and PS4 that people are excited for, most of those games are coming out next year anyway. Like at least a good chunk of them. so they can still compete and say, okay, yeah, you might be excited for these games coming out next year on these platforms, but look what we got. We got, whatever. I'm throwing out some games. Bayonetta 2. We got, Mario Kart. We got, Smash coming. What's that? Fire Emblem Cross. Shit, I can't. I ain't gonna try to pronounce it, but y'all know what I'm talking about. They got these games coming out within the next year or so. They need to like keep talking about those games, but talk to us, and catch us where we are, whether it's the internet, whether it's, whatever, at GameStop, whether it's when we're watching The Walking Dead, wherever. They need to find where the hell we're at, and they need to get our attention instead of trying to, hide in the corner somewhere like, oh, we're just going to just do the completely opposite of everybody else and stand out. That's cool. You can still be different with your games. Show us the games that you have, but reach out to us where the real gamers are at. Like, fuck all this casual, mom and dad shit. Like, I'm sorry, but if you're not, a hardcore gamer, Nintendo needs to stop making them the main focus. They can still focus on them. Once again, the PlayStation fan base has casual gamers in it. The Xbox fan base has casual games. I'm not saying that they should just completely ignore them. They got the Wii party games and the Wii U Fits that are gonna sell great. To everybody, whether you're casual, hardcore, whatever. They have a great range of different titles from, like I said, the Wii parties to the Smash Bros and the Metroids and things of that nature. But they need to talk to us, and they need to hit us where we are at, and we as in the people watching this video, and myself, and us. They need to talk to us, because they can't just rely on the majority of the Wii audience, the soccer moms and shit. First off, they don't really know anything about gaming, and they don't really care. They just got the Wii because they thought it was something cool, blah blah blah. And once again, just to make yourself clear, I'm not saying that they should completely ignore them, because I'm sure soccer moms would and do like the Wii U for the ones that have it, and that's fine. But I feel like they're relying too heavy on them, and it's like you can't just rely 75% on casuals, what I'm saying, and then freaking 25% on us, the hardcore and middlecore gamers. They can't do that again. But that's just the way I feel. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, Nintendo has surprised us before. People were talking about the 3DS was gonna die and all this shit. Now look at it. It's one of the most successful consoles, as far as year in a year-to-year basis of all time. One of. Even the Wii, when the Wii first came out, everybody's like, oh, this is gonna die off in a year, and look what happened. It's one of the most successful, consoles ever. So, maybe what they're doing, maybe it's just gonna take a little time. So maybe everything that we're saying, maybe they really do know what they're doing or whatever. But from a marketing standpoint, I really think that they do need to reach out to us a lot more. And also, with the updates and things of that nature, they really got to get that going next year once again, because the new consoles and all that type of stuff. So people like Shoke and all these other guys, Nintendo Ultra, everybody that's talking about with the online games like Mario, the new Mario game that's coming out, like things like that should be online. That game should have online, period. I don't care what you say, that game should have online. But it doesn't. Okay, cool. What about for the next Metroid? Are they gonna put multiplayer in that? Because that could be like their Halo, honestly. Like, that could really be like that game for them. You know what I'm saying? If they ever come out with another, F-Zero or something like that, whatever. They need to start focusing a little more on online. I'm not saying that they should just, make Legend of Zelda a freaking 2.5 hour game or some shit like that. Or shit, I mean, Zelda really doesn't even need online, but I'm just saying, I'm not trying to act like, online is just the end all be all. But if they're gonna put multiplayer in their games in this day and age, 9 times out of 10, it needs to have online. Point blank, period. So, especially like a game like Star Fox or a game like Metroid, come on now, y'all know y'all will love that shit on the Wii U. So yeah, I just really feel like if they really just start reaching out to us more, not that they aren't doing it, but they need to do it a whole hell of a lot more. Get their advertisement better, show the games that they have, which are obviously way more unique than what we've seen so far from Sony and Microsoft with their new consoles, and even some of the multiplats for that matter. showed some of the multiplayer that you have as well, because Nintendo does have, some third party support, not as much, but hopefully they can turn that around too, which is something else that they need to try their best to work on. Obviously, at the end of the day, it's up to the third party, but they need to try to make some deals or do what they can in that area as well. But all in all, the Wii U is not going to be the next Dreamcast, people. I say, if anything, sales-wise, it should at least be somewhere around the GameCube or something like that. But at the end of the day, Nintendo was here to stay, whether y'all fanboys like it or not. This your boy Bobby W223. Peace out.
All that other bullshit is here today and gone tomorrow.